Hello and welcome to my top TBR of 2025. So if you're new here, I am not the one to be doing 24 books in 24, 25 books in 25. I'm not doing that. It does not work for me. It hasn't worked. It didn't work the last time that I did it, so I'm not ever doing it again. So instead, I've been doing the top 10 books that I want to read in the next year, or current year, depends of when I post the video, but in this case it is for next year. But I have picked 10 random books for different reasons, which we will get to, that I want to read next year. It is all fantasy, just for your information, because I don't struggle with reading romance, I struggle with reading the fantasy books that I have. Let's just get straight into the books. There are 2 series and then a bunch of first books or second books in a series. We will get to them. I'm gonna start with standalones because they're not a lot. I have 2 standalone books on my list. The first one is Girl Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Bashardust, I think. I keep being unsure about the pronunciation, but yes. I loved Girls Made of Snow and Glass by the same author, so I'm really excited to get to this one. And I think this is some sort of retelling, I'm not sure, but I do know that it's about a main character who has a poisonous touch and a demon of some sort. So I'm very excited to get to this, hopefully next year. The other standalone is Vespertine. I think it's a standalone. All of her books have been standalones, so I'm guessing. I have loved every other book by Margaret Rogerson. They're in the corner, so you can't really see them. One of my favorite books ever is by Margaret Rogerson, so I really want to read this because I think it's the only book I haven't read by her so far. I'm not sure. And from what I remember, this is about a woman who is training to be a Grey Sister, which is a person who like blesses the dead so they don't come back from the dead. And I think her covenant gets attacked by possessed dead people. Don't know. But she has to figure out a way to stop this. Something like that. I love Margaret Rogerson, so I'm very excited to read this one. Moving on, I have a second book in a series, which is the second book of the Fortuna Sworn series by KJ Sutton. I've read the first book twice and never continued because I'm stupid. Clearly. But I did love Fortuna Sworn a lot. I think I give it a 4.5 and I'm very excited to continue. I want to continue. I have so many books in this series that I have not read. But if you've never heard of this, it's about a woman called Fortuna and she is one of the last of her kind. She is a nightmare. Her brother is missing at the start of the first book and she encounters this man who wants to help her find her brother or knows where he is in exchange for her hand in marriage. And that's just all I needed to read the book in the first place. I loved it, as I said, so I want to continue because I've been putting it off. That's my reasoning. The next book is one I have told myself that I need to read ASAP for like years now. I'm pretty sure it's been on one of these videos before and I never actually got to it. It was probably on this year's 2024's list. We're gonna ignore that. Hopefully I actually read it this time. But it is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, the first book in the Mistborn trilogy, which is technically where you're supposed to start with the Cosmere world, which I have basically almost all of the books. For that reason, did I ever start them? No. Here we are. From what I remember, this is about an assassin, something that can do magic that's called allomancy. I think it has to do with metals. I don't remember, but everyone loves this. I want to read this. I've had this for years, so hopefully it's time that I actually get to it. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully. Hoping. And the last 6 books are 2 different series in their entirety, I think. I picked both of the series because I have seen them on my shelves for a tiny bit too long and I want to get to them. This is like a category for a lot of books on my shelves, but we're gonna ignore that. The first series is the Mara Dyer series by Michelle Hodkin. I got that right. I have gotten these a million years ago. I did actually once start the first book and then never continued, but from what I remember, this is about a girl who wakes up in the hospital and her boyfriend and friends are dead, and the people at the hospital are like, you should move away and start a new life. And she does so, but she keeps seeing the faces of her dead friends and boyfriend, and she starts being able to see how people die before they actually die. That's all that I remember, and yeah, I want to read them because they've been here forever. And the last 3 books and series on my list, which you can clearly see is the one that is missing, is the 3 books in the Aurora Rising trilogy by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. Yeah, for those who don't know, one of my favorite series is the Illuminae Files by the same 2 authors. So that is why I want to read these, because I loved the Illuminae Files and I wanted to love these too. And they have been on my shelves for a minute, so that is why. I don't remember anything about these. I know that it's in space, it's in the future, and there's something about like piloting spaceships or something. I don't know, but I want to read them. So those are all the fantasy books that I want to read in 2025, because I have way too many unread fantasy books comparatively to every other genre. So my plan is to read all of these, plus the other 4 missing books that are part of the series that are complete. The ones that are like top priority of this list are the Mistborn Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson and Restless Slumber, because I need to get to Brandon Sanderson and I want to get to the rest of Fortuna Thorn. Hopefully I actually do get to all of these books and don't procrastinate like usual. Highly doubt that I will actually get to all of them, but we can always try our best. I hope everyone has had a really good Christmas, and I hope you have a great new year, and I'll see you next year for more videos. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next word video. Bye!